Welcome to week 3. Week 3 will continue our work with Advanced Word, specifically creating mailing labels. We will start by selecting the Mailings tab after we've opened Microsoft Word. Select Start Mail Merge. Make sure that we click the drop-down arrow to select labels. Once we select that, we will tell it that we want labels for our option. After we select our labels, you can see here that we'll need to select our label option. Our label option will allow us to continue editing. Specifically, we want to make sure when we're doing mailing labels that we have the correct label vendors and that we also have the correct product number. This information will be provided to us based on the labels that are purchased by our organization. So make sure that we select our label options and make the appropriate updates. After we've made the updates that are required, then we will select Next to enter our recipients. We have 3 options for entering our recipients. We can use an existing list. We can select from the outlet contacts, or we can type a new list. Once we make the decision of whether or not we're using an existing list or we're selecting from Outlook contacts or a new list, we select Next to arrange our labels. But if we're typing a new list, we're going to step through that. We talked about it last week, but let's just go through it for a refresher. A new list will require us to enter the title, the name, address, city, and state for the recipient. And for each new recipient, remember to add new entry. If we add an entry that is incorrect, we want to delete that entry. After we have all of our entries from typing a new list, then we're going to select OK. Now we're going to look at, and just remember, and I forgot to mention this very early on, if we're creating a new list, the first thing that we do is select Create, and then we enter the following information: the name, address, city, state, and all of the related information. But let's just take a peek at if we're using an existing list. If we're using an existing list, I opened the data source that we used last week, and my data source was called Medical Update. So with that Medical Update, if I need to edit the information associated with Medical Update, here's what I need to do. I need to select Medical Update, and I need to select to edit the list. When I select to edit the list, then I can go over here and tell it to edit my recipient list. If I'm editing the existing data source, I want to either add additional individuals, which would be new entry. If I need to find individuals to make sure they're in the database, then I can select the find feature. That is if I have, let's say I have 10 or more recipients and I need to make sure that they're listed. If I have someone on the list that should not receive communication, then I need to delete the entry. After I've made the edits that I desire, I'll select OK. Now I can preview my recipients. I do want to make sure that I specify the elements that I want to appear. So I do want my recipient name, and I've selected the format. I may want the company name inserted, so I'll make sure that that box is checked, and make sure that the postal address box is checked, and designate whether I want it to be never, always, or only. In here, I selected only include country and region if different than the United States. After I've made all of the edits that I need, I'll select OK. Well, before selecting OK, I'll make sure that I've selected address block, because for the mailing labels, I do want to make sure that the address blocks appears. You can preview to see that all of your recipients there. If you need to make additional edits, you go and select edit your recipient list. If everything is as you desire, then you'll select next to complete the mail merge. The final steps here is just to save the labels that you created using the mail merge. Thanks again, everyone, for viewing this video. If you have questions, please feel free to email, text, or call me with questions. Thank you.